now want to get to something that most people don't do. I wish they would. All the people who take lessons from me at IBIS have to do some of this at some point. I want you to check your pivot properly. I want you to check what your body does properly. Now, there's no easy way to do that, but this is about as easy as it gets. I've got two PVC pipes to make a point. I want to make it very visual. One's going to go across my hips about there. I think I've got the bungee cords mixed up there. We'll put that one on there. That's the hip one. One's going to go across my hips. That's better. And one's going to go across my shoulders. Now, you won't know how valuable this is until you do it. And there's a number of things you can discover with this. This is one of those self-tests. There's a number of ways you can improve here. And I'm going to start with saying, well, can you take a little flexibility test first of all? We've got a pipe that we could call bottom. We've got a pipe we could call top. So we've got top and bottom. Now, first test. Can you move the bottom without moving the top? That's a mobility issue. A lot of people can't do that. I ask them to move the bottom without moving the top, and they say, how am I doing? I say, not very well, actually. You want to see, can you move the bottom without the top? And if you can do that, can you move the top without moving the bottom? Because those are essential parts of the golf swing. The better the player, the easier that is, but please learn to do that. The pivot itself, well, you just turn back and you turn through, don't you, Martin? No, you don't. And you certainly don't do this. If we could just have an overhead here, please, Mr. Director. This would be an absolute recipe for disaster. I turn one way, and I turn the other way. Nothing very good's coming out of that, other than you'll have to keep watching School of Golf to get better. Big difference. The top, in the backswing, the top turns well before the bottom. You can see that. In the backswing, the top turns before the bottom. Now, the reason I like using the PVC pipes, it's so easy to see. The top turns before the bottom, and it pulls the bottom around. Now, coming down, you want the bottom to at least begin to move before the top. Now, some people call that the X factor, and guess what? You can see why there. There is, well, I didn't mean the pun on the Y. You can see it's called the X factor because there is an X there. Jim McLean coined that many years ago. It's not the together factor. It's the X factor coming down. And as I keep coming through, the hips are turning away from the shoulders, and eventually the shoulders catch up and pass the hips. But there's one thing I also want you to look at. If we could go down the line camera, and this is a biggie. The top stick here, I turn back, the top turns, the bottom follows. The bottom leads, the top follows, but watch this, watch this, watch this. The bottom stick runs into... Sorry, the top stick runs into the bottom stick. That is huge. It's called side bend. Don't do this. This is no good. The right side is too high. Horrible, hideous, nasty. So the top turns, the bottom follows. The bottom leads, the top follows, but the top also tilts. It's that action there that's going to let me hit from down the plane or from the inside. So I feel compelled after that to actually go ahead and hit one. I think I've got myself caught up on my microphone there. Let me just try and hit one with that, putting that together. As I said, every golf swing gets viruses, and you want this to be sort of an antivirus sweep of your golf swing. So in my mind, I want to see those PVC pipes across the body. I want the top to turn going back. I want the bottom to turn going through. And I want the top pipe to bump into the bottom pipe on the way down. And that wasn't bad. It's about 10 feet right of target. So getting the pivot right is the engine. If the pivot is wrong, you're fighting an uphill battle.